spin from touch. Less than 30 seconds remaining. He strikes it well, bending it back, and he kicked it.
Hello and welcome to Little Birdie's Sports Show for a Monday First Look. I'm your host, Nikki Sylvester. Joining me today is MG before we pack down the AFL first round of finals. We've also got Toprope on the line for NRL. First Look is proudly brought to you by Little Birdie TV, topsport.com.au, Punting Form and Manscaped for the very best in men's grooming. Now we've got a big show today. MG, how are you?
We've got a lot to cover, Nikki, don't we? It's another busy week in sport. Had a bit of a freshen up with the week off at the bye, so just had to follow Toprope's league and a bit of AFL women. But there was plenty of other sport, which we'll cover shortly.
And we had a very interesting finish to the golf this morning, didn't we, Toprope?
It's a matter of perspective, Nikki. Interesting, costly.
He finally won something. He finally won something.
My God, what an absolute butcher job from Scotty Scheffler. I'll tell you what. I'm not usually one for taking the shorts in the golf, but I jumped on very morning on Scotty Scheffler. Holy moly, this morning was an awful. Some of the putts, and MG would have drained some of those putts that were being missed. Some of the blocks, as the great Scooty said on one of them, he missed it by a furlong. It was ridiculous. And I'll tell you what, there's no one on the PGA Tour in this current environment with Live Golf wanted to win more than Rory McIlroy, so they would have been absolutely chuffed. I
agree with you. I just said to MG down their stairs this morning that I have never heard them reference money so much in PGA commentary. All they kept saying was this putt is worth this much. If he wins, he gets this much of a check. You know, if he finishes second, he gets this much. And I just thought, wow, they're really trying to compete with Liv here, because otherwise, I'd never heard it before in PGA commentary that much.
Never have I. And in fairness, all I was thinking about was how much money every missed putt Scotty Scheffler was costing me. So we weren't quite at the $18 million and the like. Look, it was a marked change in how they certainly approached it. It was pretty lowbrow coverage today, if you ask me. I to be honest, this is my least favourite tournament of the year. I think it's absolute Mickey Mouse for a tour that has said that, this is real golf, 4 rounds, 72 holes, cut, have a 30-man field, no cut, and staggered start is as Mickey Mouse it gets. And then to reference the money the whole way through, I thought it was a pretty shabby broadcast, and I think it's a pretty shabby way to win the PGA Tour season.
If we are talking money, we've got the NFL that starts next week. So what have we got? Preseason has just finished, and now we've got the real stuff starting next week. So you and Jerry are going to be back, and you've got third and long, which starts next week. So just give me a quick recap of what you're going to be doing. You're going to be sending out some sheets for that as well.
Yeah, we'll send out some sheets. We'll find the best players on sides and totals and head-to-heads there. We'll be on the podcast. I think MG's left the wagon this year. But we've got a new team. Jerry certainly made his presence felt at the back end last year. I'm looking forward to it, actually. And I know MG's done plenty of work on it, and keen to find out if he's not going to be on the show who his views are early in the year. Anyone you're super keen on, MG?
Yeah, well, I think the obvious is obviously Buffalo in terms of like how stacked their team are, Toprope. But geez, their draw in the first 8 or 9 weeks is going to make it difficult for mine. So I'd be staying away. And as usual, if you're a game punter to be tipping Super Bowl winners before the season starts, it's a lottery at best all the time. But looking forward to the show this year. Good to see I get a little break, finally get some holiday time, which will be good straight after the spring carnival. So we've got a new host who we won't mention now, but we'll introduce Friday week. I think we might kick off that show. But similar format to last year. Get around when we released Toprope and Jerry's packages, because they were tipping up a storm the back end of last year. So always worth a follow, and it's a great time zone to bet in the NFL. So looking forward to the season.
Max Verstappen, he won the Belgium Grand Prix on the weekend, which pretty much means that he has cemented the Drivers' Championship for the year. He's 98 points clear, can't lose from here. Pretty disappointing. Lewis Hamilton, he did chop Fernando Alonso out, and then he flipped the car, and I'm lucky to escape from that one. Long walk back to the pits for him. He did admit that it was his fault. So, I'm not sure what's going to happen to Lewis, but George Russell finished 4th, so he's just chugging along. That is he finishes in the top 6 every race. I really want to see what his career is going to be like next year. And, so Verstappen won. Ferrari, they got 3rd. Sadly, no Leclerc, so that's it. Handed the championship to Max, I think. Okay, and what we do have starting tonight is the final Grand Slam for the year, the US Open, Flushing Meadows. No Novak Djokovic, denied entry. MG, talk me through the men's.
Yeah, as you can see from the graphics there, we've got the defending champion Medvedev at 345. He's he's not the clear favourite, but I think he's probably represents maybe a bit of value just in the fact that I think the second favourite, Rafa Nadal, is 490. I think he's a risk at that price. He obviously pulled out of Wimbledon. He's only played one game since, so I just think the fitness of Nadal's going to be tested on the US court. So I'd be staying away from him, and I'm not sure about the third favourite there, Alcaraz, either. He's 550, I think, short enough. I think there's some value outside him. Sinner at $16 and probably Fritz at $21 would probably be the value I'd be looking around if you're not keen on Medvedev. But I think in the men's, I think there's a fair league now. Djokovic is not there. Medvedev being the defending champ, I think it's his to lose the way it's going. And the value I'd say is look for Sinner. I think he's got a nice draw, and also Fritz. I think he's a chance for a local hope, good draw. I think he made the quarterfinals in Cincinnati tournament leading, which is always not a bad guide. So there's a few risks there, and I think the favourite's going to be hard to beat.
Okay, all right. Thanks, MG. Now talk me through the women's, because it's Serena Williams' last hurrah. So maybe will the hometown hero get it this year, do you think?
Yeah, Serena's last game. I don't think she'll be there long, so I think the crowds will be there early. She's also playing doubles with her sister, so she might track more to longer in that part of the tournament. So yeah, but she'll get big crowds and send off, so maybe she can win one or two matches. But yeah, as you can see in the outright betting, Swiatek 490, out to Halep at 850, and then it's a bit of a jump, Garcia to 15. I think there's about 16, 17 players from the $15 to the 34. So this is very much a lottery, I find. The women's 5 of the last 7 winners now have come from outside the 10. And if you remember last year, Raducanu won. I think she was at least 100 to 1 winning last year's one. So the US Open, being the last major of the year as well, often throws out some big price winners in the women's. So I'd be staying away from the top half and just monitoring more form, how it's going. I think that the top end, obviously, it's pretty thin. So, yeah, I think the value's there, but geez, absolute lottery in the females. Good luck trying to pick the winner pre-post.
I don't know. I might give it a go.
You can give it a go.
Whilst we're having a week off from the fellas, give me a little rundown of the AFLW, because I know you like your AFLW. Yeah,
one of the rare supporters, it seems, going around. So hard to harness support for the females. But yeah, the round 1 kicked off. Just running down a quick the results. We can see them up on the screen. The kicked off Collingwood and Carlton Thursday night it was. They got a decent crowd there. Collingwood done the job the last 4 times in a row, so that wasn't a bad match. Probably the match of the round was Melbourne and Adelaide. So there's only 3 chances already to win the AFL Women's. We thought that pre-season, we said last week. I don't think anything changes, and 2 of them played each other, Melbourne and Adelaide. Melbourne got the away win, very impressive against Adelaide. Kangaroos got the job over the Gold Coast, done pretty easily. There were some ordinary matches in the middle. St Kilda were absolutely smashed off the map. Sydney, the bookies put up Sydney favourite to start with at -4. I'm not sure how they got to that point, but finally St Kilda got to -7. So 11-point swing there, and they got the job done pretty easily. Your team, the Bombers, had their opening. I think they might have got probably the biggest crowd of the week at Telstra Dome. 12,000 got to the Dome to see Essendon and Hawthorn play, and Essendon got the job very easy there. I think Hawthorn one of the 2 favourites for the Wooden Spoon. So let's not get carried away with the Bombers, but it's a good start, winning 1-0. Bulldogs won easily over the Giants. And the other flag favourite, well, I think this is the team to beat Brisbane. They absolutely smashed Freo, won 76-27. They were probably the most impressive for the weekend. And unfortunately, the round finished off with one of the worst matches I've ever seen in women's football, and that's saying something. If the score was 15-11 in perfect conditions on a Sunday between Geelong and Richmond, these 2 sides are going to battle all year. So we'll move on quickly those. But for those who are following the women's, 7 out of 9 favourites won, 5 covered. There was 6 overs, and the home teams were 6 out of 9. So we will have a package up this week for anyone who's following the women's, and we'll try and find a couple of winners. I know Toprope, he doesn't watch any AFL, but he loves the women's bet every now and again.
Of course, you love the women's. I mean, we were sitting at the rugby league on Friday night, and here you are. You got great game in front of you. You're watching the AFLW on your phone, and all you're telling me is how easy it is for the punting. So punters, get around that. We're going to get a package for the AFLW. Now, the nitty-gritty, we start AFL Finals, round 1. So just a quick recap for Thursday's game, because I know you're going to do Friday lines on Thursday, but Brisbane and the Tigers head-to-head, Brisbane 2.05 and Richmond $1.77 and the line's 3.5. Now that's Thursday night at 7:20 p.m. up at the Gabba.
Yeah, good match. Finals finally kick off after a week off doing nothing really, so hopefully the AFL can correct that the year after, but anyway, they keep going with this. So we kick off Thursday night at the Gabba. This will be a great match. I'm looking forward to this one, 6 v 7th. We've got, interesting betting. You don't often see the away team too often favourite in a final, but we've got it this case with Richmond being slight favourites, and the early support is for Richmond. Probably on the back there, they've got a head-to-head record 14-2, so they've got a very dominant head-to-head record over there, but I can't go away from Brisbane at the Gabba. They're 9-2 this year, and I just think the week off will actually help them. I think Richmond had all the momentum coming into the finals. They would have preferred not to have the week off and go straight in. I just think there's a thought process there that Brisbane will be able to recorrect themselves. The week off will freshen them right up at home. Obviously, it'll be a full house up there. 9-2 has been a very dominant record this year. And I just think they're the value early at plus 3.5. So I do like the over total in this game. I think 176.5 is a bit short. Generally in finals, you want to trend to the unders, as I do in probably the other 3 matches this week. But yeah, I think both over teams strong here. And I just think that with offenses being 1 and 2 in this game, I think over 176.5. The weather looks good. I think that's a play, and I'm trending towards Brisbane plus 3.5 to kick off.
Okay, Brisbane plus 3.5 there. All right. If we just see where he's sitting for the AFL Stings before the AFL Finals, he is up 11.08% running into the final. So punters, get your head around the Stings for $22 a week. Have a look at that. He is up 28.05 units, and that's 11.08% ahead of the finals. Get the Stings because it's going to be good. Now, MG, just give me a quick rundown on the AFL Premiership prices. We've seen any movement there?
No, Nikki, not a lot from last week. We just see there Geelong are favourites $2.90, Melbourne at $3.20, and Sydney at $6. Now, the way I look at it this week, Melbourne and Sydney play on the MCG. I think the winner of that game will go on and win the Premiership. So I still think I'm happy to be on the Sydney ticket that we've been championing for about 4 to 6 weeks. And Melbourne are going to be hard to beat in that game. But yeah, I'm leaning to that side. I'm happy to pot Geelong at this stage. I know they've had an unbelievable season stuff. Their finals record's 1-8 of late. So I just can't come into the 2.90 until they actually get it done. I think Collingwood a chance to get a sneaky win against them. So I'm still tracking around Sydney for now, and Melbourne's obviously the hardest to beat.
All right, Sydney for some value there, punters. Okay, now just give me a quick rundown on the Brownlow because we've got that on the 19th of September.
Yeah, so we can see, I think we mentioned last week, I'm pretty sure when we put it up, I thought Neil was a false favourite in my opinion. He's $3 out to $3.25. I think that he'll continue to drift. Supported by Oliver winning the award during the week, which is not a bad guide to it. So he's come in from, I think, almost $4 to $3.65. The way I think it's tracking, they'll start each or two at least at $3.50. I think the money will come for Oliver. I think Neil continue to drift. Paddy Cripps has firmed a bit into $5.50. I can't come into Cripps at this stage. I just don't think he's got enough votes to get there. And as you can see, it drops off real quick after the top 6. So no one else given a chance. But yeah, I'm probably just going to follow Oliver in for now.
Right, thanks, MG. Okay, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be back with NRL Round 24 and Toprope. Welcome back to First Look, which is proudly brought to you by topsport.com.au. Family owned and operated for over 35 years. Bet with a bookie you can trust. Bet with TopSport. Okay, let's go through the round 24 in the league. All right, Parramatta, they thrashed the Broncos 53-6. Penrith beat the Warriors 46-12. My Chookies, they got the job done against the Storm on Friday night 18-14. Canberra beat Manly 48-6. Cronulla, they beat the Bulldogs 16-0. South beat North Queensland 20-10. St George, they beat the West Tigers 24-22. And the Gold Coast yesterday, they beat Newcastle 36-26. Top rope.
Yeah, big weekend on the men's side of the NRL with Eeels humiliating the Broncos for the second straight week, 53-6. It's 113 points conceded by the Broncos in the last 2 weeks, and they're outside of the top 8 for the first time since round 8, and they'll be up against it. They have to win by a big number of the Dragons this week and hope or hope that the Tigers upset the Raiders. So, it can be a very, very difficult task there. Panthers got the job done against the Warriors, 46-12 in the biggest betting line of the year, 32.5 they were favoured by. Great finish for punters, though. A penalty try awarded with 30 seconds to go saw the game go from the plus to the minus and the under to the over. So depending on which way you bet there, that was a wild finish there. Ashley Klein in the box, no coincidence to mention his name. The Sydney Roosters were outstanding against the Storm, winning 18-14 in a pretty wild game. Nelson Asafa-Solomona and Jared Hargraves, two big alpha dogs right out there, but it's left the Storm vulnerable for their spot in the top four. The Roosters secured a finals berth, though, so big stuff for the Roosters, hitting form at the right time of year. The Raiders beat the homophobes 48-6. Could have won by probably a lot more, so good game there for the Raiders as they sneak into, or stay in, they surge into the top 8. Sharks pretty ordinary against the Bulldogs, 16-0 on home turf. It was, I think as Michael Ennis said in the call, a game for the purists. Not much going on there. South beat the Cowboys 20-10. A relatively controversial game, including Cohen's been set to the sin bin there. But Alex Johnson scored another try, but the Bunnies got it done. In the end, a pretty low-scoring game. The West Tigers could not have done any more to lose the game against the Dragons, lost 24-22 in the end, blowing a lead on the back of the single dumbest player I've ever seen on a rugby league field. I'm a guy who watches 195 games a year in their entirety, and I've followed rugby league for the better part of 35 years. I've never seen anything stupider on a football field. The Tigers up by 6 in the final 10 minutes. The Dragons attempt a short dropout. Doesn't go to 10. They would have got a penalty on the post. Could have kicked it, gone up by 8. A Tigers player stands there, lets it hit him, doesn't realise what he's done. Penalty Dragons, they go down, score a try, and then kick a penalty goal in the final minute to win the game. So, more humiliation for the lowly Tigers. And the Titans survived a sending off of Senator Brian Kelly to beat the Knights 36-26 in a kind of game you'd expect to see from two of the bottom 3 sides at this time of year. So, surprised Adam O'Brien was allowed on the plane back for the Knights. Still has a job apparently, but not sure how. But a big win for the Titans there.
Thanks, Toprope. Okay, now let's have a check out the bookie wrap. Okay, so 7 out of 8 faves, 5 of 8 covers, 4 of 8 over totals, and 5 of 8 for the home teams. And for the season, we are sitting at 71% for the faves, 51% of covers, 53% over totals, and 59% for the home teams. Yeah,
it's nothing kind of really stood out other than probably a glut of pretty low-scoring games. We saw, the Sharks beat the Dogs 16-0, the Rabbitohs beat the Cowboys 20-10. We still had some high-scoring games, but 3 games tallying under 32 was a bit of a surprise. But look, we are, especially daytime football, we're seeing some pretty free-flowing football, and we're also seeing some very high totals here. So totals probably getting back to about the evenness as you expect, but that's because the totals are going to get up into the mid-50s again.
Okay, and for this week's round 24 GGOA results, we had 1 of 5 with 18 units bet. But Toprope, look at your year stats, mate. Take that away.
Yeah, up by plenty for the year, up by 44 units, 13.5% to the good. So not going to seize that. Yeah, but it was a rough week. Kicked off in very ordinary style. One of the biggest bets of the year, 5.5 units on the Broncos, plus 3.5. They missed covering that by about 44 points. Never looked likely. The over in the Storm Roosters game similarly never looked likely. Sharks minus 18.5, a little stiff there. Only one was 16. The Sharks they were camped down on Canterbury territory and just couldn't get over the line. So pretty ordinary. The line jumped 22.5 there. 47.5 the over in the South North Queensland game jumped 50.5. Again, never looked like they only missed that one by 17 points, so it was dreadfully out of form. But the Tigers, in one of the biggest, we were relying on the Tigers. It's a dangerous game, but ended up jumping 10.5, so got the complete wrong side of it at the 7.5, but they covered. So got a little win at the end there. But look, when you kind of bet based on kind of trends and systems, then you've got to get these bets. So that's fine. We're up for the year, and we look onwards and upwards to the final round of the year.
Oh my God. Talk about the final round of the year. It is going to come down to the nitty-gritty for so many teams. And on Thursday night, we've got the battle for fourth position. Parramatta are playing the Melbourne Storm at CommBank Stadium, 7:50 p.m. Head-to-head approximate prices at the moment, Parramatta $2.25, the Storm are $1.65, and the line is 2.5. Oh my God, the battle for fourth. Talk me through that Toprope a little bit.
It is going to be wild. The Storm never missed the top four. The Storm top four is better than bank interest. Also, I've thought for the last 15 years, it's all going to go haywire this year. The Eels have won their last 3 against the Storm. They've covered their last 4. They kind of come to this in great form. Posted 53 against the Broncos, 44 against the Bulldogs. They're absolutely flying at the moment. But I think you've got to be with Melbourne here. Storm are a seasoned team. They do perform this time of year. The Eels tend to fade this time of year. Well, not a lot of confidence at the moment, but I'd rather be on they got beat by the Roosters, but the Roosters are arguably the hottest team in the comp right now. Yeah, you can take 20 from that. I'd rather be with the Storm.
All right. Okay. I'm sure that's going to be plenty to pack down on Thursday's show. All right. Now, a quick look at the Premiership market. Panthers, 2.15, Melbourne Storm, 6, Cronulla, 8, Roosters, 9, North Queensland, 10, Parramatta, 12, South Sydney, 15, Canberra, 71, and the Broncos, 2.51.
Give me some of that Roosters action at the $9. It's, I thought it was a real line in the sand game there for the Roosters on Friday night. Big road game, big match. Finals berth kind of on the line, and they got it done. They were tough. They were gritty. They overcame some injuries. They dug deep with a man in the sin bin. They're not going to finish in the top 4, but they are going to cause some trouble in the finals. So I can take the $9 on the Chooks there.
Okay, I'm right with you there for the $9 on the Chooks, and agreed. I thought that was an amazing game. Poor MG had to suffer through me. You know, one of the only Chook supporters in the crowd, surrounded by Storm.
Yes, tough watch.
Tough watch.
They
came to play, baby. They came to play.
The Storm supporters are very tough watch, yeah. Last time I'm going to the league game with you, I think, this season anyway.
Oh, my God. I was on the edge of my seat for the last 5 minutes. But, look, it was good to see Victor Radley get up after that. That was a shocking scene. And it was great to see him walking around at the end of the game. So, look, obviously he'll miss this week. But, really good result for a tough watch for a lot of people because you don't see that many times on a field. So, that was great to see him walking around after the game. All right. Now, punters for the GGOA, you need this because he's on fire. Imagine what he's going to do in the finals. GGOA, and you can get that from $22 a week in the Little Birdie TV shop. Little Birdie TV, GGOA, $22 a week. His final set is going to be insane. Okay, MG, over to you. Your gloating part.
No. It was a good week. So we're inside the last month now. So we're going to go through to the AFL Grand Final week so we can have whoever's the winner on. So we've got 4 weeks of tipping left. As you can see from our last week's results, we've gone 2 out of 3. So it's about our average this year, and especially in the last couple of months. So the Panthers were smashed, I believe, Toprope. I think they finished in the -30s or something like that as a starting line. So
2.5.
Tipped the punters up early, getting in cheap at -20.5, and Julie got the result. So that was good. Broncos, unfortunately, never in it for the Toprope. And your Sharkies, Nikki, you got in early as well. I think that line might have moved about 10 points as well.
22.5.
Shop early was a good case there because, as Toprope said before when they were discussing it, the Sharks won 16-0. So if you shopped early, you got the result, and if you shopped late, you missed out. So 2 out of 3, good results. So now the standings, I've got a 3-gap lead on both of these two in the office. So 4 rounds to go. It's going to be a fair fall from grace if I don't get the chocolates here. So yeah, going along nicely. We'll see what we crop up this week. I can shut the gate this week if the results go my way. So we'll start with Toprope for Wayside Chapel. Toprope, all or nothing this week. What have you got?
Well, first of all, I imagine you've misspoken, and I think the lack of respect being shown to the NRL Grand Final here is utterly appalling. So I imagine we will be going through to NRL Grand Final weekend, punters.
No, the reason why Toprope is we just want to get the winner on from the charity before we shut down for the season. So we need to finish up the week early just so we can whoever wins, we can get someone on from the charity to accept the prize money going towards a good cause.
Don't worry. The lack of respect shown last week when we discussed VFL and whatever else before round 24 of the NRL was made very clear. So
basically, after 30 weeks, Toprope, if you can't get the chocolates done, mate, one more week's not going to make any difference for you. So let's close the gap down right now.
Broncos -3.5 against the Dragons.
Broncos -3.5 for Toprope. Nikki, you've got your choice this week. You dominated the NRL last week. Are we sticking with them, or are you coming back to the AFL?
No, I'm coming back to the AFL because I think this is going to be a really tough round for the league, and we're going in opposite directions this week. You're tipping Brisbane, and I'm going Richmond, so -3.5. So hopefully the Tigers can get that done for me.
Yes, for Sids and Kids, Nikki's going to go Thursday night. Get your money in early there at -3.5. Yeah, I'm probably going to lean to the other side, but we'll let you go on that one. And I get to invest in a total this week because we've been up for a week. So I'm going to go in the same game as you, Nikki. I will be cheering probably for the Lions, but I'm going to cheer for plenty of points. I'm going to go at the over 176.5 to hopefully shut the gate on this charity event. But all money going to good causes. So we've had fun with this year, and the results have been pretty good. So I hope you've been following.
Yeah, it's been great. Amazing to tip on a Monday and to see some of our results. So I'm pretty chuffed with that. And obviously I didn't lose by that much. So I feel good about it. I feel good for a girl going up against two blokes who obviously do this for a living. All right. Thanks, punters. That is a wrap for this week's edition of First Look. Thanks for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Download our podcast everywhere you get your good podcasts from. Remember, the boys will be here on Thursday to give a rundown on Friday line. So that's Thursday. So make sure you tune in. You can follow us on socials. Little Birdie TV on Twitter and Insta. All your footy betting action is at topsport.com.au. Make sure you check out their tennis as well, which starts tonight. So topsport.com.au. We'll be here next Monday. Have a great week. Thanks.